In this video, we're going to check out the menu element in the funnel builder. So I'm going to hop over here to funnels and I'm going to open up a funnel that I set up. And you'll see that this funnel has a pretty lame header area here. So I'm going to replace this with a new one using our new menu element. So I'm going to add a full width section here, and I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to make it one column, and I'm going to add our new navigation menu element. All right, so you can see by default it has a couple of things, a section for an image, a name like a text area, and then the menu items over here, the navigation items. So I'm going to first turn off the business name. So if I go into advanced, the headline in menu, I'm going to turn that off. So then I'm going to go back to general and I'm going to add my image. So brand logo, I'm going to click that, have one in here. So, it looks a little squished. So I'm going to remove the height so that it's natural width. And then I'm going to increase the width to 250 pixels. So that looks pretty good. So now we've got our nav menu items over here on the right. So home, about us. I'm going to add one for services. And you can see here we have options. So we can either go to a URL or we could define go to a funnel step within this funnel. And then here's where we would put the URL. So I'm going to show you something cool with this in a little bit. For now, I'm just going to, I don't want it to open in a new tab, and I'm going to hit save, and let's reorder that. So I want it to go home, about us. Home, about, about has this sub menu, that's why. So we can see team is nested under about, services, contact us. That looks good. I'm going to increase the font size a little bit on these. And I want to increase the spacing between the words. So that looks good there. Okay, cool. I like that. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to save that. We can see our drop-down item there. And so first, let me show you something cool which you could do if you were designing, say, like a one-page site for somebody. So if I scroll down here to my contacts section and I click on this section and I go to advanced, you can see that my CSS selector here is section Q and then this string right here. So if I come back and I go back up to my new navigation and I go edit the contact item, and I say go to a website URL, but I use this. Oh, I just have to remember to turn off open in a new tab or this won't work. So I turn that off, I'll hit save, save that, and I'm going to open this up in a preview. And what will happen when I click this now is it's just going to jump down to that section of the page. So this is cool if you're building one-page websites, to be able to have a navigation menu that just jumps you to the section of the page that correlates with whatever that menu item is. Okay, let's check out a couple of sort of font items options with our menu here. So now that I have my elements, if I wanted to make one a drop down, so we see here how we have about and then team is a little indented under about, that makes it a drop down item. So if I did the same with services, let's say I wanted to just put it under contacts as a drop down, you just slide it or grab it and drag it and then indent it a little bit and you'll see that it disappeared because now it's under contacts. So let's put that back up here, and now let's talk about color. So if I go down to my color, I could change this. Let's say I wanted it to be, I don't know, green. But I'm going to leave that as black. And what I want to do next is set my hover text. So if I make this blue, like a link, now when you hover over, they'll turn blue. And then you could do the same thing with the hover background. So if I set the same color as the background, you won't be able to see it. So let's say I keep the hover text color black, but I leave this blue. Now you'll get that solid block behind. So now let's talk about mobile. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to set this one to be desktop specific. And then I'm going to switch, I'm going to make this one mobile specific, and I'm going to switch into mobile view. So we can see a couple of things right off the bat. The menu condensed itself down into an icon, which is great. And I can choose, if I select my menu, bars, here we go. So let's say I wanted it to be something different. I don't know, maybe it's a surfing site and I want it to be waves instead. So I can select that as my icon. And if I want to make that bigger, I can change the mobile font size of that icon. I'm going to put it back to bars though, because I think that's standard. So we'll go hamburger. Okay, there we go. That's great. This is looking a little big for me, so I'm going to come back down here to my logo. I'm going to reduce that to 200. That looks pretty good, and I think I want to put a little padding on the left and the right there just to get it off the edge of the page. So let's do 10 and 10. Bring that in a little bit. Okay, great. So now if we click it, you'll see that the menu opens up like that. You can have your drop-down items in there. And then you can obviously continue to tweak with the normal sort of controls as far as color and spacing and things like that. But that's a quick overview of how to set up a menu now in Funnel Builder.